Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Blaster Master Blind. I don't know if I really want to call it that yet or not, I'm not sure. And the last part we started off the game and beat the first area, and now we're here in the big dungeon of the second area. You may have just seen it just barely there, but what I got a power up there was a gun. I think I got one last part, but I don't think I explained it. I don't remember, honestly, even though I just recorded that yesterday. Gun slowly increases not only the power of your gun, but the range, and then later on it'll actually change the way it fires, like adding rotating bullets somehow. Okay then. Anyway, these green alien guys here are annoying only because they teleport all over the place. There probably is a pattern to them, like they might only teleport in a square, but I'm not aware of it. Also, the gun power-up, as you may notice now, it's gone. It goes away. You lose one level every time you get hit. Also, I should mention that if you're in the main part of the game and you're not in these cabins, and you actually get out of your the Sophia tank and you jump, if you actually fall far enough, you actually will take fall damage, which is kind of annoying, but at the same time it makes sense because we're a human, and that's about a good 20-foot fall, realistically. Anyway, time for a rather annoying boss, if you don't know a trick to him like I've known for years. Also, my gun jumped off there because I died to this guy. This is Crabbulus. You can only hit him on the little pincers there on the bottom. However, if you know a certain abuse, if you use a grenade and pause, he'll consistently get hit. And after about 30-40 seconds, he's dead. I know for a fact you can do this on the bosses of Worlds 2, 4, 6, and I think the final boss as well. I learned this, I think, I forget if I learned this from a YouTube video when I was researching whether or not I wanted to Let's Play this, or my brother. One of the two. But yeah, Crabbulus, if you know that, is no big deal at all. And for beating him, we get the Crusher Beam. You may have noticed throughout the past areas that there are different looking blocks. They kind of look like the crumble blocks from Metroid, kind of. Keyword there. Like the same kind of blocky look to them. Blocky look to blocks. No! They just look like four little cubes arranged in a block. I suppose that's the best way to put it. This thing can actually break them, and I think it also just slightly increases the power of the beam. I'm not too sure about that one, though. Makes it Rainbow Beam either way, so now it really is the Hyper Beam from Super Metroid. Actually, what's really weird is the Blaster Master series. I've been aware of it for years, but this is actually the first time I've ever played one to any extent. I know for a fact that there is a PlayStation one, though, that is rather interesting. I might want to show that one off at some point, if I can ever do anything with it. Because it's hard to control. Actually, what was the one the PlayStation 1 called? Blaster Master something. Let me look at my files here. I have lists for this kind of stuff for a reason. And it's not coming up. Okay then. Alrighty then. It's not working with me today. Okay, there we go. Was called... Oh, first off, those are the blocks you can destroy with the Crusher Beam. Rather easy to spot if you're paying attention. And welcome to Area 3 with some really good music. This area is painful for one reason and one reason only. A lot of the enemies in here can do 2 damage. Like, the bombs that these little silver guys shoot out do 2 damage no matter what. Let's see. Okay, here it is. The PlayStation 1 game was Blaster Master Blasting Again. And that's a full 3D game, which is kind of interesting, actually. Anyway, Area 3 here is, as I mentioned before, kind of hard due to the fact that it's actually not only has damaging enemies like the bombs, but it's also kind of long. As in, we're in here for the rest of the parts long, and that includes beating the boss. And we get Shriek Bats. That's never fun. Well, actually, they're not Shriek Bats, but that's pretty much what they are to me because Metroid. Actually, the entire style of this game kind of reminds me of a mixture of Contra, Metroid, and Mega Man. Now, those red things on top there, this is the first introduction to a red enemy we've ever seen. Red enemies are much more powerful than gray, and, well, in terms of damage, and I think they also just have more health in general. The red caterpillars are especially annoying. Though if you can blow up the shell thing like that one right there before they come out of it, they will die. I don't know why I'm shooting that, it literally has no threat. Also, one interesting thing is that I just remembered right now, is if you look at my life bar, you might notice that I technically have no health. The thing is with this game, I know for a fact it applies to the tank. I'm not sure if it applies to you as a human. But when you have your power bar completely empty, you technically have one more hit point than it says. I know, like, it says I have 4 health on the power bar, I technically have 5. I'm not sure if when you're on your own without the tank is the exact same thing. It might be, it might not be. Oh god. For some reason the way those things run reminds me of the Pineapple Wizard. I don't know why. I should play Kid Icarus sometime soon, actually. If I can beat it. I cannot beat the original Kid Icarus for anything. Without save states. Or passwords. Passwords are easy. These tank things are actually rather annoying because they move faster than you think they would, actually. And as I mentioned last part, I'm only thanks to a guy going where I'm required to go. There are all sorts of cabins that you can go into that give you, like, extra guns and extra ammo. I'm just not visiting any of them because, as much as I like this game so far, I don't want to end up being stuck playing this forever because of its difficulty. Come on. The shooting is actually kind of wonky at times because the jump is actually really fast and hard to time, right? With shooting specific things that aren't on the top of the jump. Then again, overall, this game does control beautifully. Not as beautifully as Superman 64. Oh god, no, that is the exact opposite of what I wanted to say. Not as beautifully as, like, Super Metroid or Metroid Zero Mission or anything Mega Man related, but still pretty good. Although, the tank actually has a bit of inertia to it. If you stop moving, it actually will keep moving for about 3 or 4 or 5 pixels. Also, like I said before, I love this game's soundtrack. What the hell? That happens every now and then, I'm not sure why. I can't tell if that's Camtasia or my actual recording. What was I gonna say? I was talking about the soundtrack. I do have to say, though, so far this game's soundtrack is amazing. This song especially is very happy. Though, Area 1 is by far the best song in the game to me. Although, Area 7's is... Wait, no, Area 6's is pretty kick-ass as well. Although, for some reason, this song reminds me of that really odd Nintendo game, Dino Wars, if any of you guys are familiar with it. I'm not sure why this song reminds me of it, but it does. I mean, you guys ever heard of that one? That is an interesting one, to say the least. I've never beaten it in my entire life, even though we've owned it for years. Then again, I've also never looked up the ending. Anyway, these little turrets here are annoying if only because of their range. Also, you might notice we're getting H power-ups now. Those are useless to us at the moment, but you might have noticed that in every area we get a big upgrade from a boss. Once we get this area's upgrade, those will become more prevalent. Also, you might notice I'm probably going to seem a bit nervous now because I think I only have 1 life left. Well, actually, no, 0 counts as a life, so technically I have 2. But I don't want to die, and I have literally no health. Luckily, gray enemies seem to drop a lot of, well, a lot of the enemies are gray, so, enemies like to drop, certain enemies like to drop power more than others do. I will say, though, when it comes to precision aiming, going out of the tank is actually rather useful, though your shots aren't as powerful. You know, if I was a speedrunner, I would probably skip these guys entirely, but I don't like my luck, and I'm no speedrunner. Well, in most games. Some I'm actually rather competent at playing fast. Anyways, you may have noticed these past two rooms have been really wide open for some reason, and I have a feeling I know why, so you can test out the new ability you get. Although after I get this next ability, I know for a fact that I have to do something rather annoying, and I'll get into that at the end of the part. Yeah, you can tell I'm sweating. Actually, seeing players get close to death in games is actually something kind of interesting when you're on YouTube here, because you can see people who have utter confidence in their skills suddenly go all nervous and shaky when they're low on life, because I was actually pretty confident in myself in whatever skill I have in this game until I had like 1 life left, in which case, well, one health point left, and then I'm like, oh god, avoid everything! Also, these orange crates are here for no reason as far as I'm aware. You might be able to break these with a later power, I'm not too sure, honestly. And in here is the big cabin we need to go to. And this is actually a rather easy cabin in terms of what's in it, but the boss, oh god, the boss. Got some red enemies here, these guys are the easiest way you can tell that red enemies are just stronger overall. Spikes, as I think I mentioned last part, do hurt you, so don't go onto them. Thankfully, they're not instant kill like they are in Castlevania or Mega Man. That would just be annoying. Then again, would it even work in this kind of way, this kind of perspective with instant death? Food for thought, I suppose. You know, also, going back to the soundtrack really quick, well, the songs are actually really short. They really work their way into your head, because since they play the song throughout the entire area, no matter where you are, aside from boss fights, it really knows how to get its way into your head. Sunsoft knows Sunsoft knows what to do when it comes to music. This and the Batman game are really good examples of that. Also, I think it's impossible to dodge these guys. When you're in front of them, they fire at you, quite simply. And, oh, that is teasing. There was no way I couldn't have actually kept that gun power up, because I would have gotten hit. And invincibility frames don't count for you, I think, much in this game. And like I mentioned last part, you can destroy certain blocks, and a lot of the time, well, not a lot of the time, some of the times, they will have stuff underneath them. If you go into the optional cabins, you'll find a lot of these things you can destroy, and they'll often have quite a few good items under them. Especially when it comes to special weapon ammo. And I'm not sure if you can only use special weapons in the tank or as a person yet. I know for a fact these are hyper missiles. I think they're just really powerful things. I don't know quite yet, honestly. Mind you, if this was my brother playing it, he'd probably be playing this like a pro. But then again, he also hasn't played this game in probably over 2 decades. Now, having a sibling that's that much older than you is kind of weird like that at times. Some of you can probably attest to that. I know for a fact that I'm not the only one who has a brother that's a good decade and good over a decade older than him. I know for a fact I'm not, people. Anyway, time for the boss, which is either... I forget what its name is, actually. I know I was looking it up earlier. It's either protophage or photophage. Obviously playing up the whole macrophage thing. You might notice my gun jumped up a good level or two. That's because I actually got a game over to this guy. And you know what's annoying with game overs? You're sent to the very beginning of the area where we entered with the tank. Yeah. I had to edit out 13 minutes just to get back here. Photophage has those rainbow lasers, which are surprisingly hard to dodge. If you mash A and B at the same time, though, with any kind of gun level, you should do pretty fine against him. Because invincibility frames are actually kind of weird in this game, where they don't really count for much. But he'll go down with enough effort. Also, you know what's weird? There's no saving in the game. Anyway, we just got the hover mechanics. You may have noticed those little H's throughout the enemies dropping. That is ammo for this thing. When you're in the tank, press and hold. It's either press and hold or press A again to start hovering. So yeah, that's useful. And with that, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And next time on Let's Play Blaster Master Blind, still not sure if I want to call it that, we're actually gonna head back to the very beginning of the game because that's where the next area is. In fact, I'm not sure if I'm gonna cut that or not, but we need to head back to the first screen no matter what. See you guys then.